Hello, hello. It is November 19th, Wednesday, 2025. Thank you all for coming to Wednesday's Q&A. Any of you that have invited anybody, I want you to really thank them after, as you're going to learn a lot about our beautiful products and especially Rejuvenate. So the first half hour of this call I record, and this is all about our product. So we're going to begin. So the very first product we have, and the packaging is just impeccable, is called Restore, as you can see here. And it has a number one on it because this product is a set of three. And so we're talking about what's called trio. Restore is known as a sleep deep restore, and it is known as a nighttime drink. It is one scoop that is put into 250 mils of hot water, stir it up, make sure you're near your bedside, drink your drink, and start saying your good nights because within 10 minutes or so, you're going to want to start allowing yourself to relax in that state so that it can really piggyback easier and put you into a really nice dreamy sleep. The next thing that happens, you wake up in the morning. Ooh, beautiful. The sky is blue. We see what's called Revive, and it's the number two. So this is a morning drink. And again, the scoop inside it, depending on who you are, is whether you use a quarter of the scoop, half a scoop, three-quarters of the scoop, or a full scoop, because this is kick-ass energy that is going to boot you for the whole day. Everything that you create from the nighttime drink that happens because of it stabilizing, calming the nervous system, and turning things on is what it's going to keep flowing throughout the day. And so then we have the third part of our product, which is our midday pill. And it is a capsule. And as you can see, it says Rejuvenate and it has a number three. That is what we're going to be talking about big time today. And you're going to want to make sure that you take this and that you make sure that you have 8 hours before you're going to be going to sleep because the plethora of ingredients in this are huge, huge vitality creating. And again, very, very sustained, equal energy. What happens is, as you're going to learn from all these products, the first product has the least amount of ingredients. The second amount of product and the drink in the morning has quite a few ingredients that really, really start to absorb into the body to keep repairing, keep restoring, keep regenerating everything that happened from your nighttime. But then these, these are full, filled with the most amazing ingredients that are synergistically combined on purpose to bring you the highest nutritional denseness, which means high immunity boosting. So Rejuvenate is the only one in our trio that is in a pill form and it's in a capsule form and it does absolutely break down in the body. So we're going to get into it. Rejuvenate is a powerhouse blend that supports immunity health. It encourages recovery. It maintains beautiful skin elasticity, and many of us are having fantastic anti-aging effects, and also muscle health. And so this is where many of you are like, why am I working out and I'm having less issues? I don't hurt in the morning. I don't have usually day two and day three are usually your more sore things. And you're like, this isn't happening for me. I might have a little bit of tenderness, but it's like this recovery is so crazy. You're going to learn about that tonight. So inside of Rejuvenate, we have vitamins A, C, D3, E, and K. Then we have vitamins B1, B2, B3, B5, B6, and B12. B6 alone is so very important because many of you have no idea that many of the things that you have been doing to harm your body, whether it's through ingesting, through eating, injecting, breathing, wearing of clothes that are endocrine disruption, all of that starts to harm the liver. Guess where glutathione is created? In the liver. Guess what is needed specifically for glutathione to be created? Vitamin B6. You're going to find that vitamin B6 is quite a bit in every one of these products on purpose. Okay, so the next thing in it is biotin. Biotin is great for hair, skin, and nails. We have folate and calcium. Then we get into all of our trace minerals that we're talking. The calcium, iron, phosphorus. We have magnesium oxide. We have copper, zinc, manganese, and potassium. And like I have said to many of you, most people are really, really failing in potassium more than magnesium, but zinc and manganese. The reason being because of how much radiation is playing within our EMFs, our 5G towers, everywhere that you are, right? Again, any of you know that iodine and selenium are the first things start to pull, and then and copper is one of the biggest deficiencies that people have out there. That's why there's so much hair loss. Because when you have severe amounts of radiation damage, guess what is needed in order to hold on to hair is copper, because it's a big conductor. So the next thing we get into is green tea extract, yellow turmeric, ginger, green coffee extract, and we'll go into that very much today. We have then beautiful mushrooms of cordyceps, maitake. We have shiitake and chaga from all of our mushrooms. We have resveratrol, blackberry fruit. We have seedless guarana fruit extract of 22% caffeine. We have quercetin, my happy, happy place. We have grape fruit, not grapefruit, grape, like the fruit of the grape, I'll say. Then we also have mangosteen. We have conjugated linoleic acid, and we have cayenne pepper. And so little story about cayenne pepper. Years ago, I was a hairdresser, and we had to take an extra course because in the late 90s, you know how all of a sudden they would come up with the next new thing that you had to do. And it was everyone was suddenly into cayenne pepper, and and it was into mega dosing back then, where everyone was doing mega dosing of everything. And a bunch of us hairdressers started realizing, why are all our ladies getting these red hot roots where their hair would suddenly turn red at the roots? And it was because of cayenne pepper. So guess what we had to add to our color mixture so that you didn't get red pepper, like the red roots? Twin sugar. Isn't that creepy? I don't know who figured it out. Usually it's Italian scientists that figure out all the great things. They have the best hair care, they have the best Italian everything. But anyways, that was just something that's a little something I'm going to tell you that was like crazy for learning about cayenne pepper. So let's get into green tea extract. The reason that you will find green tea extract in our morning drink and also in Rejuvenate is because we are our trace minerals, so we need our salts. Have you taken your salt? And amino acids. Well, guess what is in green tea? Every amino acid you can possibly think of. So let's get into it. Theanine, 5 in glutamine, glutenic acid, tryptophan. We have glycine, we have serine, we have aspartic acid, we have tyrosine, valine, leucine, threonine, we have arginine, we have lysine, we have cellulose, we have pectins, sucrose, tons of trace minerals, we have trace elements, we have calcium, magnesium, chromium, manganese, iron, and copper again. We have zinc, we have molybdenum, selenium, sodium, phosphorus, cobalt, strontium, nickel, potassium, fluorine, aluminium, not aluminum, aluminium. We have some lipids, we have sterols, we have vitamins again, B6, C, E, we have caffeine, we have great chlorophyll and carotenoids. This is just in green extract alone. And as you will know, when you're looking at an ingredient list, The ingredients are in a listed way of how much of everything is in there. And then you'll know that there's higher amounts of something because it came before other things. So that helps you with that, okay? So one of the studies shown is that green tea extract is protection against degenerative diseases, mammary cancer, anti-tumor. It prevents oxidative stress, neurological issues. It's prevention of many types of cancer, including lung, colon, esophagus and mouth, stomach, small intestine, kidney and pancreas, and of course the mammary glands. It reduces risks of many chronic illnesses because of the plethora of amino acids. The more you're going to learn about this is the more you're going to realize why many of us do carnivore or ancestors lifestyle, because amino acids are anti-parasitic, because they will get rid of the sticky carbohydrate sugars. And that's why we need cholesterol, because it reverses damage. Okay, so we have the neural side of things that it protects against Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, tremors. It's anti-inflammatory. It helps stop bleeding. It's fantastic for eye health, especially for skin, hair, nails. That's why many people's eyelashes will even start growing because of green tea. The next thing we get into in the ingredient list is yellow turmeric. Many of you that were on the activation journey have learned why yellow turmeric is so amazing, because it's rich in antioxidants. It's great for heart health, anti-inflammatory. It is fantastic for cognitive function, so that gets rid of that brain fog. It boosts immunity. It reduces all inflammations in the whole body. Very, very important. It's anti-cancer. It's anti-parasitic. It actually relieves arthritis. Fantastic for digestive health. It purges heavy metals. It is a great antidepressant, has healing properties, great for acne, for type 2 diabetes, for Alzheimer's, for joint health. It prevents cell damage, which means it's actually able to help penetrate into the cell. It improves mood. It is great for memory and focus, and it reduces hyperpigmentation. Now let's talk about ginger next on the list. Ginger is great for nausea and vomiting. It's a cancer preventative. Again, anti-inflammatory, lowers blood sugar. And Brenda L., who's got a fantastic testimony you're going to hear about the next half hour. Ginger and many of the products has a reason why they targeted this on purpose, because we have a high influx of heart issues, as in myocarditis, pericarditis, blood clots, stroke, and seizure. This is on the rise on every age of what's happening right now, and all of these ingredients are very, very key and why I love Rejuvenate and all of our trio products. Okay, and so it lowers blood sugar again. It's neuroprotective, which means that it helps from the damage of the neurons within your brain. It relieves menstrual cramps in women. It is cancer preventative. It is great for sore muscles, soothes headaches, it boosts your immunity, it prevents diabetes. It's great for blood pressure improvement, meaning it stabilizes if it's too high, stabilizes if it's too low. So there's a difference between lowering blood pressure, it stabilizes. It's great pain management. It's fantastic for digestion. Many of you have done ginger tea for digestion. It's great in weight loss. It fights infections. It is a decrease in cancer risk. It's cardiovascular, amazing benefits. It specifically helps with knee osteoarthritis. It aids digestion and it stimulates digestion. So this helps create the proper enzymes for breakdown of your foods for absorption into the body. Next, we're going to talk about green coffee extract. Now, many of you, I am so elated for you. I'm so elated for my husband, especially because he was a coffee drinker his whole life, had to grind his coffee, do his little ritual in the morning, and because life didn't happen without it. And he has not touched a brewed coffee ever since he started drinking the morning drink. He did not end up with a detox headache from it. He absolutely has maintained energy all day long because there's a difference between coffee bean and green coffee bean extract. And we have green coffee bean extract in our Rejuvenate. Why? All of the coffee beans are green when you pick them, and then they roast them. So no different than pasteurizing milk or pasteurizing our honey or iodizing the salt and taking all the goodness out of it. All that happens the moment that you roast a coffee bean, it spikes the caffeine into toxic caffeine, loses all its enzymes, so it does nothing for you. But everyone, and they have proven it, this is you can research it. I want to empower you by researching why people react to the brewed coffee bean or the roasted coffee bean is because it ends up with a mold on it. And there is zero extract in it other than high caffeine. And that's why people get a headache because it's parasitic from the mold. And that's what's telling you I need more. No different than most people with what they think is sugar addiction. It's actually parasites saying, feed me. But most of you have a beautiful purge within half an hour of having your morning coffee, and you think, oh, it helps me go to the bathroom. No, it's trying to purge the toxin out of your body. And so when we have what you're going to learn about what is in real green coffee bean extract, you'll realize why there is greatness about the extract from the coffee bean. It's fantastic for weight loss, for blood sugar control again, for heart health, for metabolism, especially the chlorogenic acid, which boosts the fat and sugar metabolism in the liver. And so this also gets rid of fatty liver. Okay, so then we have it gets rid of the fat throughout the whole body. So some places it'll target certain areas of fat. This goes after the visceral fat from the whole body, and that's where it helps and aids so much in weight loss. It's for blood sugar regulation, fighting blood glucose levels. So insulin sensitivity, the key factor in controlling blood sugar and preventing type 2 diabetes. So then we also have it helps with blood pressure, with cognitive function, and antioxidants effects. So next, let's get into the beautiful mushrooms, medicinal mushrooms. I love medicinal mushrooms. I have a really dear friend of mine, and he has taught me so much about mushrooms, medicinal mushrooms, not the psilocybin, but he takes care of both, about how they've used it in certain medicines just for their clients to be able to help anti-cancer, all these things. And so cordyceps is the first one we're talking about. And cordyceps is amazing for energy, for mood, for athletic performance, for immune support. And so it's an antioxidant. It actually allows the body to use oxygen more efficiently in the body. And that's why you don't lose that, you don't get that arm pump because you're keeping oxygen flowing. It reduces the stress response during and after exercise. And that's why many of us, again, don't feel that leg or harm or hurt. And that's why we're able to work out more. It's anti-inflammatory, high immune support. It reduces growth of certain tumors. It's for blood sugar regulation, great anti-aging, great cancer support, heart health again, cognitive support, and fantastic kidney health. So the maitake mushroom, again, mimics a lot of the same because a lot of you've been taught that mushrooms are a fungus. And that is the biggest lie that they've hid from you out there. It is a microorganism. In all life, it begins with a microorganism. And that is why they have dated mushrooms back to the beginning of time, because it creates proper flora and fauna. Okay, and so it helps with cognitive support, kidney health, great blood sugar management again, for great cardio health, weight management, skin and brain, big time health, Then we get into, let's see, I'm going to talk about all the mushrooms. Shiitake, again, is great anti-cancer, immune, heart health, supports great circulation. So what I'm noticing is I'd had was really bad at one time for poor blood circulation, and that's where varicose vein comes in because you have great blood pressure going down, but really weak vein walls for it to contract to be able to come back up. And this helps with circulation and thickening or strengthening of vein walls. And so then the chaga mushroom. I was gifted by a young boy at one of my meditations, and he's part native, and he had gifted me this little black looking kind of looked like charcoal almost, and I was like, oh, thank you. And he said, it's an honor to give this to you. And I said to him, what is it? And he said, it is chaga. And chaga mushroom is one of the biggest things that they use. And you can make chaga tea, everything, and you can just shave some and put it into hot water. It's so freaking fantastic for immune boosting. It'll kick any kind of cold or anything coming onto the curb. And so it's also great for energy and endurance, like fantastic endurance. And that's what some of you are really feeling those effects in this is Rejuvenate, because you just have that all day long, even keel, calm, but just keep on going. And that's some of the great effects of chaga and quercetin. And so those are from our beautiful mushrooms. Now let's get into resveratrol. Resveratrol is cardiovascular health. It helps relax the blood vessels because some people it's so constricted, and that's where you end up with that plaque buildup. And so we have one of the mushrooms that helps to strengthen the walls, but we have resveratrol that helps relax the wall for the flow to flow properly. Okay, we have the increasing of nitric oxide, and that's what helps prevent oxidation. So nitric oxide is also very important in our heart health, right? And into our muscle health, all of that. It's a great anti-inflammatory again throughout the whole body. We have great metabolic effects for it because it's actually great for improved insulin sensitivity, and it lowers your blood sugar levels again. Great, fantastic for skin health, for brain health, because it protects from neural inflammation. And that's why so many of us don't have brain fog anymore. And you're seeing people with tremors that aren't shaking anymore, even people who are in a place of nervousness that aren't feeling nervous or overwhelmed as much anymore, because it's slowing down the cognitive function for it to talk better. Next, we have blackberry fruit, and that is full of vitamins and minerals. Again, very similar to like what green tea has going on. It's fantastic for brain health. Boosts your immunity again. Antioxidizing, like massive antioxidants, anti-inflammatory, another digestive aid. Then we get into seedless guarana fruit, and that's again another level of our 22% caffeine. That's from an extract from it. And this increases great alertness. It enhances cognitive function. Again, fantastic for digestive health. So many of you are like, why my tummies doesn't hurt anymore? Because actually there's so much digestive health in all three of our products, especially our nighttime product as well. Fantastic again for weight management and heart health. And so now let's play into quercetin. And you guys are just running, running, running. I'm seeing those little pens going like crazy, which is fantastic because this is the most ingredients that you're going to see in Rejuvenate. And I seriously, when I get to finally meet the scientists, I'm going to hug them. I'm going to hug them because not one of you ever has to try to use any other supplement, anything ever again. This is high activation of every level of your body. And so quercetin is my favorite, and that's why I would love you to just take one of these ingredients alone and start researching and going into crazy studies with them. But quercetin alone, like I said, quercetin in the brain, quercetin in the heart, quercetin in muscles, quercetin and um, any kind of disorder or dis-ease. So it is antioxidant, it's antiviral, it's anti-cancer, it's anti-inflammatory. It is fantastic brain food for great brain cognitive function because it protects from neuroinflammation. Again, that is super important at this time because there's a lot of craziness going out there, and a lot of my colleagues have shown inside autopsy how many people's brains were being literally eaten. And so, not to scare you, but to know that's what's happening. So it activates AMPK. And so AMPK stands for activated protein kinase. And this is for treatment against brain disorders. And that's why this is so big, because this is specific around strokes, for the progression of loss of dopaminergic neurons. And anyone has ever heard of dopamine before knows we need dopamine, just like serotonin, to be happy. And any kind of drug addicts out there, they usually use up all of their serotonin and dopamine reserves. And that's why there's so much depression. Okay, so it helps with motor symptoms, right? So this with the dopaminergic neurons, when they've been affected, that's where motor response starts to lag, and that's tremors, that's Parkinson's, that's MS, any kind of neurological disorder, tics, all of this. Okay, so again, it's great against tremors, right? Rigidity, any kind of neuromuscular release that can't work, a mitochondrial dysfunction. It boosts energy. It is fantastic for immune system vitality. It supports the body's innate healing and collagen production. Again, fountain of youth, fountain of youth. And so we also, it encourages lean muscle mass. And that lean muscle mass is why many of us, especially I'm 55 and I have way less atrophy going on. I can do less of a workout and hold on to my muscle mass way better. Less sagging because we're creating more elasticity, more collagen, and because that we have all the activation of those hormones releasing properly again as well. This is just the good stuff, you guys. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is mangosteen. And mangosteen is great for heart health, for anti-aging. It is rich in xanthones. Starts with an X, xanthones. And xanthones neutralize damage from free radicals. And it's fantastic for digestive health. The next thing we have is conjugated linoleic acid. And this helps with the body composition and with weight management. It reduces body fat mass and increases lean muscle mass. It is anti-cancer. It's fantastic for bone health. And many people who have been told they have osteoporosis or scoliosis, many of these things that are affecting bones, this has to do with bone marrow reproduction. And it improves not only the bone formation, but it prevents bone loss. And then it's very specific that this helps with rheumatoid arthritis. And RA is one of the most devastating and crippling that many people have experienced. And that's why these scientists knew exactly what needed to go on, because they're trying to work with every kind of disorder to get us back on. And RA is one of the worst for autoimmune because it is so crippling, right? It enhances recovery and it increases performance as well. And then last but not least, we have cayenne pepper. And what does cayenne pepper do? Cayenne pepper is fantastic for pain relief. It is, again, great for weight management, heart health, digestive health again, and for allergy relief. Not because cayenne pepper gets rid of allergies, but it actually breaks up congestion. It breaks up mucus. And so that's the list of absolutely all of what is in Rejuvenate tonight. And Why does this work so well for you? It is a one-stop shop. Everything that you get in that when you go to sleep, when you drink your nighttime drink and you go back to sleep now, this is why now the nighttime drink gets to piggyback off of all the goods that started to get into the body and is starting to release. This is where the goods come in. This is why all three of these work in harmony all the time, because the nighttime drink, that's why many of you, if you just did the nighttime drink, you'll notice some fantastic effects because it's calming the nervous system. It's turning on all of our glands, especially starting pituitary, hypothalamus. Then it talks to our thyroid. Then it talks to our thymus. Then it talks to our adrenals and our pancreas and our sexual organs. And this is where all those hormones come in and create the perfect amounts and releases proper proteins, amino acids, and minerals to be able to turn on everything going on in your nervous system and then talk to your whole fascia. And fascia is like a massive collagen energetic, and it's just a huge superconductive highway, right? And so when we add more nutrient dense, we aren't starving anymore. And the more that we can help our nervous system, that way, when it's in sleep mode, it has all the tools it needs to be able to create even quicker tendon repair, even quicker collagen, ligament. We're talking about tissues, fibers. We're talking about cell death back to cell life. Because in order for a cell to properly restore into a whole cell again, it needs an animal fat, it needs a mineral, and it needs an amino acid. And guess what is fantastic about these products? So you're going to notice the longer you take them, like I've said, for every 10 years that you've been breathing, you need 30 days because you are creating such a healthy environment that you're no longer starving. And the only reason we have a breakdown happen is because your body was starving. Did you know that you've never needed to do a parasite cleanse? Did you know that there are people out there because they eat so whole and healthy, they have no dis-ease, disorder, or any forms of breakdowns? Why? Because they're not starving. What happens when we have three products that know how to work off each other in harmony to keep building upon each other, whether we're sleeping or we're awake? Isn't this fantastic? I find it super exciting. So I'm going to thank you all for this part. I'm going to stop the recording on this now, and we're going to get good into the testimonials. Reach out to whoever invited you for this to thank them so that you can find out more. And so I'm just going to ask for you to stop recording now, Miss Paula. That would be great.